You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hey Joey, how you doing? Can you hear me all right? No, there's something wrong with my sound.
Loud and clear.
Okay, I like it. Good. All right. Listen, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. This is FHL, Freedom, Health and Lifestyle. And of course, episode 95. And we're going to watch a video from the Eric Worre podcast. The link is in the description. And again, this is Adapt or Die with Roland Frasier. So we're going to get into that. But of course, look, this is personal development. That's what it's really about. It's about, getting better. We all want better. We all want to look better, think better, do better. We all want better, So hopefully you can get involved. But don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Click that notification button. You'll hear when Joey and I are usually on. Usually around about the same time every week, around about this time. But again, look, just check us out. Leave a comment. We want to know what your thoughts are too. So let me have a look. Joey, oh, by the way, my name is Mick McQuillan, just in case you were wondering, right? And I'm in Ireland. My good friend Joey is in Australia. Joey, say hello.
Good day, everyone. This is Joye Click here from Sydney, Australia. Every Sunday, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with Mike McQuillan, share with you what we have found and what we learned in our journey so that we can all grow together, learn together, and hopefully to apply those lessons and those benefit to our life and to improve the quality of our life, whether it's our lifestyle, income, or relationship, and extra. So looking forward for tonight, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, me too. You're already on a roll. The key to apply what you learn. I love it. Right, so damn this bloody PC. I'll get back to that. So anyway, so the video, so Roland is going to talk about a couple of things. He's going to talk, this video was done back in August 2024. He talks about the economy. He's going to explain how AI is changing the landscape for companies. He's also going to get into the work from home trend. This is interesting. Like if you're currently having a job and you're working from home, like why not work on something of your own at home as well? So we can get into those types of things. So look, let's just kind of get into it. Let's have a look, see if I can get this going. How do I do this? Right, okay. All right, let's go. Now, there will be ads in this, and if there are, we'll just let them play and then we'll skip out of them. And Eric Worre normally does his own ad. We're going to let that play. It's only fair. We're watching his stuff. If he's got an ad, if he's got, I think he's probably going to have an ad about his own thing that you can maybe join. I recommend that you do. Why not? Especially if you're looking to do something for yourself. But listen, let's play this and see where it goes. I'm looking forward to it, Joe.
Likewise.
With AI, I think it goes as I have seen it so far since ChatGPT first came out, which it certainly wasn't the dawn of AI, but it was kind of the dawn of AI for everybody. Yeah. And it was its own thing. And we were talking about AI as AI. And then now, as makes sense, it's becoming integrated into everything. And I think that as its own thing, it's not likely to continue to be a thing. That it's just, we have search that is enhanced by AI, just like we have the internet isn't just a thing that you're like, I'm an internet person. You use the internet for pretty much everything in your life.
Hello, everybody. Eric Worre here, and welcome to the Excellence Project. Today, I have entrepreneur Roland Frasier. And I think you're going to find this very interesting because we talk about what's going on in the world. We talk about AI. We talk about growing businesses, expanding networks, acquiring networks. One of the most fascinating concepts towards the end of the podcast, acquiring networks. Very, very interesting for those of you who need to reach more people. How to find your ideal customer, how to find your ideal recruit, how to find your ideal partner, depending on what you're doing in business. I think you're going to love it. So with no further ado, let's jump right into my conversation with Roland Frasier. So Roland Frasier, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. For those that don't know Roland, he is an entrepreneur, investor, business strategist. I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. When I think about you, Roland, I think of an entrepreneurial marketing innovator. Is that accurate?
I like that. Yeah, that works for me. I'm just trying to find the shortest path to the things we all want.
What's that? Money?
It's usually money is just the thing that enables us to get the things we really want, which is time and, the ability to feel fulfilled and do the things that we actually want to do with our lives instead of working for somebody else.
Right. Well, I'll buy that. So as we start the conversation, give me your take on what's happening in the world, just from a global sense, economically and entrepreneurially, and, from the gig economy to the employee things to AI to, the earth is shifting under our feet in real time. We're living in a very interesting time. I would love your take on what's going on in the world of business.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I don't know that anybody's really completely sure, because it seems that things have been kind of all of the traditional indicators that you would think would cause things to be one way have not seemed to be in alignment. Like if you have higher interest rates and tighter fiscal policy and a lot of the things that are going on, inflation, that generally causes people to pull back. But yet houses, housing is crazy, and there's not enough supply. And it's just been this weird time when kind of it feels like everything that you want to buy costs significantly more than it ever did. And you don't have significantly more money to buy it with. So how does it keep going up? Because where is all that money coming from? It's kind of
I'm wondering where the demand is coming from.
Yeah,
because if it's supply and demand, and everything's up, whatever, they're talking about 8% inflation. It's like 30%.
I was going to say pretty much everything, Eric, that I like to buy costs about twice what it cost in 2018. It really does.
So. But we still are governed by the laws of supply and demand.
Eventually. And I think that's what's happening.
So there must, is there going to come a time when somebody says, you know what? No, I'm not paying $10 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, I think that is starting to happen. And I think they would pay for it, which is why inflation works, right? If they had the money, they would pay the money. I mean, they clearly did. That's why all these people got away with raising prices like they did. But there comes a point where the amount of capital that's out there is not what it once was, because especially all the free money that was given away. I mean, the government artificially injected so much money into the economy that wasn't real, right? And it wasn't sustainable. And now it's gone away. And I think that's why we're finally starting to feel that coming.
Well, it was funny. I was talking with one of my boys last night, young men, who was complaining about how expensive things are now, and yet regularly orders Uber Eats.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's just like, man, everything's expensive, but let me pay 3 times as much because I want somebody to bring it to me.
Exactly.
So I don't know about you, but it feels to me like some bad habits, some bad mental viruses were planted in the whole world's brain in the middle of the pandemic. And in the course of like 18 months to 2 years, the work ethic dropped, entitlement went up, impatience went up, attention spans went down. I mean, people are loving this work from home thing because they can pretend that they're working. They don't have to hide in an office anymore. They just hide at home.
Right. Yeah. After quiet quitting.
Yeah, the quiet quitting thing. Or like, I'm just not a believer in creatives working not together with other creatives. And every creative now in today's world, we're talking marketing now, every creative in today's world wants to work from home. Mm-hmm. That's like a requirement. But they want a full-time income from you for working from home. And all of them, I'm not going to say all, but I'm going to say the vast majority are also managing 4 or 5 other people on the side and still charging you full price for, and then they'll tell you they're too busy to do your stuff. So they're all kind of like,
you definitely see a drop in the quality of the work. And I think that'll self-adjust. Those people, I mean, we recently, I mean, we've had to let so many people go that had that exact problem. And agency, it's the same problem. They basically have become many agencies. And we know that the challenge with agencies is that the person that gets you in with the great ideas and sells you can only do so much. And so they can't scale. And then when they try to scale, they let all of the people who don't have the great ideas and aren't as good, or they just don't do the work. And you end up waiting, and while they're trying to scale, and then they end up failing because they couldn't, right?
Well, I'll give you an example. I had an editor that I wanted to, that worked remotely and really liked him, really liked his work. And I said, I want you to work with the rest of the creative team on site. He said, well, I don't have a car. Fine. I will buy you a car to get back and forth to work. He said, oh, okay. Well, that sounds good. Next day, I got a 2 weeks notice because he was not going to give up his side gigs. You know, that all that proved to me is he had a bunch of side gigs that he was not going to give up because he was going to be exposed by having to sit in a room with a bunch of other creatives that were focused on a particular project.
Right.
It's such an interesting time, man. I mean, so many interesting different things. So tell me what else you see. I mean, where does this go? Because AI is rising, and you have to be paying attention to that, especially in the marketing world. And, you know, marketers ruin everything because whatever works, they pound it to death until it doesn't work anymore. And then you got to adjust and you have to adapt. The adapting cycle has shortened so small now that it used to be for me, I'd have to adapt every 3 to 5 years. I'd have to have some sort of pivot. Now it's much shorter than that. You have to pivot because the market's changed so fast. So tell me what you see. You're the expert.
Well, I mean, with AI, I think it goes as I have seen it so far since ChatGPT first came out, which it certainly wasn't the dawn of AI, but it was kind of the dawn of AI for everybody. And it was its own thing. And we were talking about AI as AI. And then now, as makes sense, it's becoming integrated into everything. And I think that as its own thing, it's not likely to continue to be a thing. That it's just, we have search that is enhanced by AI, just like we have the internet isn't just a thing that you're like, I'm an internet person. You use the internet for pretty much everything in your life. So that's like, we've seen that evolution, particularly in trainings that people are interested in. They're not interested in just how do I do ChatGPT. They're interested in how do I AIify my marketing? How do I AIify my finances, etc. And so that has been really fun though, because I think that helps mitigate against the challenge that you identified with respect to the people who are, more entitled and unmotivated and distracted and fractionalized as a result of what they could do during the pandemic. Now they're going to have to perform at significantly higher levels and be AI aware, or they will be replaced by people who are up and coming. And the size of the teams that we need, like our copywriting teams and our marketing teams and our finance teams, is shrinking instead of expanding, which is amazing. And it's as a result of a lot of automation and efficiencies in the automation that was never possible before. So I think that's what you're going to see, is the people that can embrace and implement and integrate AI into all of the facets of their business are going to have a huge advantage over those who don't, and the others won't survive. And the people who are lazy won't survive. They need to be more productive. It's like, if they want to be able to scale their businesses and do the things they want, they're going to have to find other ways to do it. We're even automating our SDRs now, all right? Our outbound sales calls. We don't need setters for several of our businesses where we had to have those before, because there's an AI voice that's making those calls and having complete conversations that lead to set appointments where calendar appointments are set directly on the call, right? That's amazing.
Well, one of the things I predicted,
Hey, Joe, I want to get your thoughts on that, right? Because I know that you use AI, and we have been, I've certainly been using AI for different types of things that I'm working on. And of course, you can prompt AI to reset themselves to think about a problem or a solution in a certain way, So like if you were, like, for example, if I wanted to value a house, I can say, right, okay, I can give AI pictures of this house, the landscape, the grounds, the location, and then I can tell it, right, imagine you are this expert auctioneer or valuer with, all the expertise that anybody ever needed, value this house. And it's able to do that, from a professional point of view. It's interesting what Roland is talking about there, how he has less people working for him now. He doesn't need all these people because he's literally got AI bots making phone calls for him and setting appointments and doing different things. That, like, if the point that he's making is, if you're not using AI to complement your skill set, you're missing out.
Yeah, so true, Mike. This topic is very mind-opening for me because, I grew up back in where I start, back in the island. We didn't have any computer, and the only time that I exposed to the computer was on my second last year at high school, and my dad encouraged me to look at it and study computer. The computer lesson was a subject. I studied about the history of the computer and a little bit of programming, and it was hard for me, to be honest. It was for me to. I can say I grew up in an environment of an old school, just pen and a paper. But what they talk about tonight is so true, and what I realize, now I'm into the profession of network marketing now. The AI is the perfect tools to enhance your marketing, and like they said, if you don't keep up to upskill and use them and make them work for you, you left something, maybe money on the table, or maybe you're missing out. Especially the people who are lazy, and I pay attention to what he said. For those that are lazy to start AI, artificial intelligence, they're gonna be miss out in a lot of things. First time I heard about the ChatGPT is from my daughter. When I use the internet and I study computer, then I started using internet. I didn't really use much internet as I would love to, because internet was one of the. I remember, Mike, I won a reward for one of the top 10 in that year, and I got a book about internet. The sad thing about the book, I never read the book. The book it's still somewhere back home in Tonga, full of dust. But I think, if I was interested in looking at it, because that's the trends that, because I just don't know what I didn't know at that time.
Yeah.
I thought this is totally new things, and I just comfortable with what I have, pen, book, paper, but I didn't realize that, the people that get ahead in the world, they use internet, they use artificial intelligence to make their progress in their journey, whether it's a entrepreneur, marketing, or business, more quicker, or it's like a shortcut to allow you to get more client, allow you to get more conversation.
That's interesting, Joe. It's interesting that you say that, because he started off by saying, find the shortest path to the things that you want to do. That's where it started, But listen, I'm going to tell you a quick story, right? And you're going to find this really funny. So back in 1996, Kate and I moved to Manchester. And Kate was going to university, now we'd met some friends up there. And one of our friends had got a job selling space on the internet. And we were like, how do you sell space on the internet? You're joking. That's crazy. You're not selling anything. This is when the internet was really brand new, right? And so we just thought it was a joke. We thought the internet was a joke. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's ever going to use it, And in fact, Kate had to buy a computer, and we went into the computer shop. And this is when you bought a big computer. It didn't have a slim screen thing. It had a massive thing on the back. It was a green screen, right?
Yeah.
And the guy said to her, he said, do you need an internet modem? And she said, no, I'll never use the internet. That's what she said. Do you know what I mean? Back then, like, that's 30 years ago. So
Yeah.
when you think about how things have changed in 30 years, now Kate uses the internet every day. Do you know what I mean? We all use the internet every day. It's one of those things you can't live without, you know. And you can see how AI, it's the next generation, you know, of how things are, and we all use it. You know, like you know, even just 2 days ago, because I'm working on this new thing that we're doing, and I wanted to create an email sequence, you know, to be able to send out to potential prospects and things like this. And I just said to AI, you know, we had this original kind of email, this whole kind of context of, you know, a landing page, the first email that we send out when they make an initial inquiry. So I kind of copied all of this information into ChatGPT and said, listen, you know, obviously we've got the website, you know, that people have landed on. You know, this is the page, this is the information that they have. After they fill in their contact details, we send this email. And what I want you to do is I want you to then create an email sequence of 7 follow-up emails that are going to be punchy and fun, but still short and to the point, you know, and action orientated on their part. You know, and within 30 seconds, boom, 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 there's 7 emails that it's given me to create a follow-up sequence. And then, of course, all I did was put those emails into the, you know, with triggers. If we don't hear from, if they don't reply back, if they don't respond back, send this one. If they don't respond back, send this one, send this one, send this one. You know, all within, you know, like after 24 hours, after 30 hours, after whatever. So you can use AI. Now, if I had to sit down and write all those emails myself, it would take me forever. In fact, I probably wouldn't even do it, Joey. You know what I mean? Probably wouldn't even do it. You know, but how that's more efficient is because, you know, it means that my lead generation becomes more efficient, that when they do respond, even if they unsubscribe, it's still an outcome, because all I'm looking for is an outcome, you know, whether they respond back and say, hey, yeah, give me a call or whatever else, you know, that's what I'm looking for. I want to be able to talk to them, you know. So is the next step for me then to generate a bot that actually has a phone call with them? I get plenty. I don't know if you get many of those calls. I get plenty of those calls from bots, because when I ring them back, there's no one on the end of the phone.
Wow.
It's just like a dead number, you know? So, you know, the story I was talking about was basically how 30 years ago, we thought that we would never use the internet. Now we use it all the time. AI is literally that next generation. And I know you use AI a lot, certainly in your network marketing business. How do you use it?
Yeah. See, AI, for me, the way I look at AI is a perfect tools to enhance, to upgrade the way you're doing your business or generate leads and stuff like that. You know, for me, I'm still lack in using the AI to my advantage. And that's one of the things that I really, really need to work on it, because I got the, and you know, and to get the tool, you have to invest some money on it, subscription myself. When I start to get what I noticed before I use the AI, which is the AI that we use, is called Nowsite. You know, that application or that software AI. Before that, you know, it takes time to reply to someone. You know, it takes time to create something, and you know, you got a lot of things in your mind, and you try to reply to each and everyone. That's why people are so ahead in time than the rest, because they're using the tools, and they're using. When I use the tool, I use it to reply and make a comment on other people's posts. It takes a lot of time for me to sit down and just reply back. All I just do is just copy the people post, and I just put it on the program or the apps to say, and and the AI will ask me, what do you want to say to this guy, to this person? And I add 3-4 words, but most of the time, but what I really, really like the AI part, it's when they ask, you know, it start me a conversation that lead to what I do, what I'm passionate about, what I try to build. Is, for example, the network marketing or distribution side. And when the customer start to asking something for me, I use AI because I don't have the time to go back and look it up and come back. So, so this particular AI is designed specifically to the professional, and we have part of the AI is Eric Worre. It's like you ask directly to Eric Worre. And I shared this with you before. When I type it in, what I need to share with the conversation between me and the customer, I have to read the answers before I share with them, and I learn new things. My mind just goes, wow, this is unbelievable. It might sound professional to the other person because I when they ask question, it's helped me learn, educate myself too, by doing the things and getting the AI to get the answer. And when I get the answer, I learn before I share with other people.
That makes so much sense, Joey. The AI, because it helps to educate yourself, even in something that you're already familiar with. It gives you, it's like having a conversation with somebody where you can ask it something and it can give you a different perspective on it. We should actually do something. We should actually do something on AI right now. Pull it up on the screen and ask it a question about network marketing or something like this. So,
Yeah.
maybe we'll do it at the end, right? We'll get back
Yeah.
to this. And maybe we'll do it at the end. We'll see.
10 years ago, when I wrote GoPro, I said that the world had begun to change now, and I think it's accelerating to a performance-based economy, not a time-based economy. So people are not going to be able to trade their time for a check. They're going to trade performance for a check, and that's going to go through every single job sector, job by job by job, because the days of being able to get a job and basically hide in a building and wait for your 3% raise each year and your bonus or whatever, and then just keep hiding, put in the minimum, do whatever you have to do, be nice to everybody, but hide. Those days are over. I mean, because right now people's performance is going to be measured in real time. What did you actually bring to the organization? And if you didn't bring it, why are you here?
Yeah. What are you adding, and how can we hold you accountable? And do we need a lot of people to hold you accountable? Not really, because so many tools now are available for us to evaluate the performance, right? To assess, are you hiding or performing?
A philosophical question for you. As workforces shrink, ours has shrunk as well because of efficiencies and technology, and accountability rises again because of technology, the ability to be able to track all these different things, and people get displaced. I think two things probably have to happen. One is, what do they call it? Where people get an automatic income.
And just universal income or something like that, you mean?
Yeah, universal income.
Yep.
Which they started in Texas this year. Universal basic income, enough to survive. So that's one thing. People are going to, as people get displaced, I'm guessing governments and et cetera, they're going to tax the performers in order to be able to give all these other people universal basic income. But the second thing is, what happens when people don't have a purpose?
Yeah.
What happens when they don't have something to do or to build or to contribute, and they're just sitting there, being entertained or scrolling? And this is not like science fiction 20 years from now, but this is like 3 years from now.
Yeah. If they are not entertained, then they are prone to revolution, which is why the Romans had what they had to entertain.
So are you saying we're headed to revolution?
I'm saying that we probably have enough entertainment to keep everybody happy, but it's probably universal free entertainment so that we avoid the other. if
Anarchy.
you've got them, basically, because if you don't feed them and house them, they revolt. If you don't entertain them, they decide that they compare themselves, and that leads to revolt. But if you can distract them with entertainment while giving them just enough to be okay, to feel like, I mean, I'm eating and I got a roof over my head and I can watch TikTok videos. So do I want to go out in the streets? You know, it's something to think about.
Bro. So one of the things that I know I know you've done, you basically have become an expert at growth strategies, right?
I have.
In lots of different avenues. What I've known you for as kind of an organizer of entrepreneurs of sorts, kind of creating communities where people share ideas, a facilitator of masterminds where people share good ideas. What do you think is your superpower?
I think my superpower is being able to find creative solutions in business situations. So to apply the creative side that causes me to, write music and books and things like that, and apply it to business situations where everyone is stuck. And I also feel that I have a superpower in that I'm always eager to walk into the fire of everything is falling down and everybody's fighting and everything, and say, let's bring order to the chaos. I actually enjoy it, which is totally weird.
Really? So you like dysfunctional organizations?
No, I like functional.
And
that's why if I walk into the dysfunctional, I won't abide it. It's got to be fixed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you like finding the dysfunctional in order to be able to bring function.
Well, if I could, I mean, ideally I wouldn't. It's just that there seems to be a lot of it out there. I would rather have a situation where somebody says, everybody's perfect and getting along. How do we grow faster? Because then I wouldn't have to do that whole first step of fixing everything. Right.
But you're good at fixing things.
I am good at that. Yes.
So you're good at identifying, okay, here's the core issue. We got to fix this. We got to fix this. You could turn that stuff around fast.
And then here's where the great opportunity lies going forward.
Yeah. Focus on growth.
Yep.
So how much do you build your own businesses, and how much do you help other people with their businesses?
That is a wonderful question, because for years I did both, probably to the detriment of my own businesses. And then I decided that I really didn't have the time to do the things I wanted to do with my family and for my own personal fulfillment if I kept doing that. So I stopped just giving unsolicited free advice that would never be followed, and started saying, look, I only build businesses that I'm involved in on an equity basis. And so I'm happy to help you. But to do that, the way that I work is that I have a piece of the business, and that way I'm compensated and you're compensated as whatever I do.
But you found a way to align interests.
Yeah. And then they've got skin in the game, as opposed to you just giving advice and them going, wow, that's nice. They feel like kind of stupid if they don't take the advice now because they've invested, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they call them officially ask holes.
They do indeed.
People who ask for advice and then never take it.
Yes.
So that's been your hybrid. You figured out a way to just kind of find people who align with your values, align with your interests.
Yep.
And you can bring your value, and you figure out a way to make win-win situations.
Absolutely. Yeah. I for years, like I said, I did it the other way, and it was very frustrating and it was time consuming. So this way really solves all the problems and makes things.
Yeah. I've got to tell you, similar thing with me. If I have somebody in a coaching program paid big money, and I had a coaching program for 21 straight weeks, 3 7-week chunks.
Yeah.
Once a week for 21 weeks this year. And there are people who showed up every single week and didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah.
And still haven't. and
Isn't-
it's so unrewarding.
yeah.
You know, they gave me the money. They sat there with this helpless look on their face, and they just could not get out of their own way, or chose to let fear dominate them or something.
Yeah.
And there's just no fulfillment in that for me
There is
at
not.
all. There's
Agreed.
not a dollar figure that they could give me that if I'm not feeling like I'm contributing, that's a dollar figure that I'm willing to take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just going to say that the kind of the solution that I found to that is because what those people are doing is they are receiving fulfillment because the purchase of the coaching program and their attendance at it gives them all that they need, the minimum that they need to feel that they are moving forward, even though they're not, even though the efforts that they're taking will not lead to forward motion that they
Right.
want. But in their minds, they've decided, well, I signed up for the coaching. And then here's the terrible thing. You know, I was in Eric's coaching program for 21 weeks. I showed up every single week. Nothing happened.
Still
Right.
didn't have my breakthrough.
Right.
Well, you didn't follow one instruction. I gave you assignment every week for 21 weeks.
Exactly. So for me,
frustrating.
to help with that, because that happens too when you're doing, when you get an interest in a business, you know, even though they gave you the interest in the business, they expect everything to happen without them doing anything. So I started doing a pre, basically a consult, because I never wanted to be a consultant. I'd hate the dollars for hours limitation, even if it's lots of dollars for a few hours. So I started charging for a conversation to determine whether it was a fit. So that at the end of the conversation, you know, I do 4 hours for, you know, somewhere between 25 and 50K, depending on what it was.
Yeah.
And not because I wanted 25 or 50K, although it's nice. It was more that was enough of an investment to weed out the people who weren't willing to invest in themselves. It creates a good positioning of authority because they're already saying, okay, I respect you enough to make this investment. And it gives me a period of time with them to give all the value that I can give that they could then take and do something with, or to find out that there's an opportunity and an alignment with us. And based on that time, it's enough time for me to assess, are they the show up and do nothing, or are they actually committed? Are they interested, or are they committed? And that's made a huge difference.
I just want to jump in and say, I hope you're getting value from everything that we do at the Excellence Project. And if you do, make sure to follow us on all the social platforms. If you look up Eric Worre or the Excellence Project, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, everywhere where you get your content on social media. Find us over there. We'll continue the conversation. Back to the podcast. So interesting, because I work with a lot of large companies, a lot of large organizations who, you know, I'm well compensated, but and in the initial conversations, everything is in alignment. It couldn't be more perfect. But then there's so much what I call psychic damage, PTSD, or large organization limiting beliefs that I'm like Jerry Maguire, help me help you. Help me help you. Get out of your way. Have you ever had to deal with that? Because once you've already gotten involved with somebody and they know that they need to do something, but then they just won't, they're not willing to emotionally pull the trigger and let go of some sort of sacred cow that's been drowning them.
Yeah, and most often it's the team, because I'm a firm believer that who got you here won't get you there, right? So there are the people that get you to 1 million, 3 million, 10 million, 30 million aren't the people that can take you to 100 and 300, right? And 1 billion and 3 billion. They're different skill sets. And so the hardest thing that I run into with the people that I work with is that they feel a loyalty to the people who happened to be along for the ride at the beginning, or they feel a loyalty to the people who really were rock stars that did significantly contribute to getting the company to where it is. And so the only potential solutions to that are, well, then keep those people who will not be able to help you and actually will hurt you and hold you back from getting to the next places that you want to get, or we have to find a way to honor them. And we can honor them by paying them money, giving them equity that they can go out and do something else. And now they have some ability to be paid from the future ride up, or at least be recognized for what they've got. Or can we put them into a position where we have loyal people that are maybe on like a launch team? So like if people were really good at getting a company to 10 million, let's say, and we come in and they're doing 10 million now, and now we want to go to 100. It's a totally different skill set. We know we need more and different skills, but are there divisions, acquisitions, other parts of the businesses, segments, etc., that we could actually take these people and the skills they've got and then say, you're the launch team, you're the core group of people that help us get to this level where we can then put the boring management people in who are going to take it to the next level. And I've found that that's been very helpful and effective. Or go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, or if what?
I say, or we can move them into a holding company so that we say, look, this is the core team. We're the group that got everything started. We need loyal people being sure that these new people know what they're talking about and holding them accountable. You're really good as a finance person, even though you're not a CFO of a 100 million company. So you speak CFOEs and you will know if they're doing what they need to do or not. And when they're telling us they need something, some huge enterprise system that costs $3 million a year, is that going to really help? And you're loyal to the company and the core group. So let's have our holding company be the people that started the thing and let those people oversee, in some direction, even if it's consultative, the people that came in. Now you're still functional. I didn't have to bring in somebody, because this is almost always a recipe for disaster. I didn't have to bring in the person who has seen the future 100 million, 300, 1 billion and demote you down to reporting to them. I've got you having them with you, keep your eye on them. They're not reporting to you, but you're the person who is the head advisor of that for our holdco. So you're representing our equity interests, and that can work pretty well.
So interesting. I mean, I deal from a network marketing leader distributor perspective, right?
Yep.
So if you have a mature company, there are people who did things 20 and 30 years ago and are legends inside of an organization, but haven't done anything since.
Yep.
And they're the ones, and then I call those the Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And then there's the Pro Bowlers, people who are doing it today.
Yeah.
And in some organizations, the Hall of Famers calling all the shots, and they haven't done anything practically when it comes to growth, other than kissing babies and taking selfies and appearing on Zooms, for 20 years, literally.
Can you bifurcate that though, so that effectively the Hall of Famers are the brand ambassadors and the Pro Bowlers are the actual implementers?
They're all distributors,
right?
They're all independent
all
distributors.
Yeah.
So they don't bring much value to the organization if they're not bringing value to the organization. I mean, just walking around and kissing babies and taking selfies is not that valuable. What's valuable is growing teams.
Okay. So
the
Hall of Famer, like they're legends. I would think that their brand stories would be powerful. And so if they
are, but so here's the interesting challenge is to provide respect to that group. They get the jacket and the ring and the trophy and the whole thing. And they're always respected. But they're not listened to the same as somebody who's doing it today.
Yeah, of course.
Because if all of the Hall of Famers are sitting on every committee and making decisions and big strategic everything, and they're not actively out there, it becomes highly dysfunctional super fast. But I cannot tell you how much I love who got you here won't get you there. That is such a profound statement. I think that's true for people in network marketing. I think it's true for people everywhere.
Yeah.
I know we don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask you a network marketing question.
Yes, sir.
Before we started the podcast, you mentioned something about how easy it is for people to acquire networks and expand their reach, easy and inexpensive.
Yep.
So as this hack, explain what this hack would be and how a person might do it to be able to further their network marketing career.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love growth by acquisition. And there's generally 7 categories of acquisitions that you can make to grow any business. One of them is to acquire media. And what is media? Media is any asset that is aggregated the attention and eyeballs of your ideal customer profile. So if your ideal customer profile is a client that wants to buy a juice that's going to make them feel better, or a product that's going to take them on a customer journey from where they are to where they want to be, then I want to know who is the ideal customer and who already has a ton of those customers that they've already gathered who are loyal to that media. And if, on the other hand, just so that we don't think limiting, like I would even think bigger than that, I would think, actually, my business, I have to be careful that I am selling products and not only recruiting, but recruiting is an important part for me. So who are my ideal recruits that also can sell? Now, once I've identified those, that's my ICP. That's my ideal customer profile. Somebody that basically will help me get more people who are quality people while also helping sell. Now I've identified what that is. I look at my top producers and say, these are the kind of core common characteristics that makes my ICP. Now, where do I find a bunch of those people? Probably I can do it through data mining, or I can actually talk to them, God forbid, and say, what do you read? Where do you hang out? How are you motivated? And get some common characteristics. Then I can go and find media that matches that. So if my ideal, let's say my ideal recruit that can also sell is a former salesperson, and a former salesperson in health products, let's say, because I've got a health product company that I'm working on. Well, then I'm going to say, where do those people hang out? Are there sales forums for people who are at a certain job position or level in health companies? And then I'm going to go and say, there's a YouTube channel for, how to be better at sales. And there's a Facebook group people of, disgruntled former health people that are looking to do their own thing. And, and there's startup entrepreneurs on LinkedIn that's a sales group. And there's a YouTube channel for them. Then, and a meetup group where they actually go in Kansas City, where I live, once a week to meet to talk about, what they can do to better themselves in their business. Well, I'm going to find out who owns all of those channels, because there's a really good chance that whoever started those and owns it right now did it as a labor of love, and now it's become a pain in the butt, right? And now they're just like, it takes their time, but they're kind of tired of it, and they don't want it to die, and they feel guilty leaving people behind, but it's not monetizing because most of them have no idea how to monetize things like that. And so I start then reaching out to those people and approaching them and saying, hey, have you ever thought about selling this group? Or if I can't, and I want to buy it first, because if I buy it, I own 100% of it. Or if I can't have success there, then I'll talk about, have you ever thought about having somebody come in who can be kind of a business development partner with you to help this thing take off? Because you've got a lot of people there. It's just, you haven't made a lot of money doing it yet. And then it gets to, well, what do you have to pay for that? And so my question to the owner of the group, and they're like, I guess I'd consider selling it. How much will you give me for it? And say, well, typically these sell for 1 year of profits. So how much profit did you make from running it? Well, the answer for most of them is $500, nothing, $1,000. I lost $3,000. And so that's a perfect opportunity to say, Well, so then that's about what it's worth right now. But here's an interesting thing. If you know that you can turn that around and monetize it, you might be willing to offer them a job doing what they do now, but getting paid instead of losing money or making no money. And how are you going to pay them? You're going to pay them from what you're able to generate out of the group. And I'll give you an example. I have lots, but I'll give you one to start with. And that would be, one of our businesses is a real estate brokerage. We've got about 1,100 brokers in our brokerage. We make our money by recruiting new brokers because our model is 100% commission. So we give all the commission to the broker. We don't get anything as the brokerage, but our model is we basically rent space, right? So, and we provide services. So we do great to get new real estate people coming in. So we went out and we said, okay, let's look and see what media could we acquire that already has high performance real estate agents that we might be able to recruit. And we found a Facebook group that had, at the time, I think they had about 100,000 agents, and it was very, very active. And we approached them and we said, is this something that makes money? Can we, is it something you ever thought about buying? And they were pretty good at monetization. They had an event. They didn't really have any courses. They had a couple of sponsorships, but didn't really understand the sponsorship model. And they had an investor, though, that had come in. We were not able to work a deal out with them because the investor, we had to deal with the people that founded it, and then the investor killed it, right? And that sometimes happens. But we were able to form a strategic relationship with them, and they've sent us tons of agents. And that is a media channel for us out of a failed acquisition. But that we then did was we went to the second largest group, which had about 60-some thousand agents, and we were able to acquire it. And we were able to acquire it from somebody who wasn't monetizing it, but they knew that it had value. They just didn't know how to unlock it. And so we went back and forth and negotiated the deal and ended up agreeing on acquiring it for about $75K, but we didn't have to pay $75K. We went out and found a mortgage company that was willing to pay $50,000 to have a sponsorship for a year where they contributed content, which we needed anyway, and a training company that was willing to pay $25K to be the exclusive real estate agent training contributor. And we paid for the thing without ever having to come out of pocket, and had 60-odd thousand of our ideal perfect customer where we were the position of authority. We ran the group. Our messaging goes, that's really powerful. And we just do that over and over through YouTube channels, Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts, Pinterest account, all of the places that aggregate media, podcasts, it's fantastic. Like your podcast.
What do you rank to that, Joe? You're muted.
Rookie. Man, it's so good. There's a lot of things that we can do with AI, and the bigger the solution that they solve, the bigger the paycheck, and that's what I can see and vision on that conversation. They use AI to solve big problems, and big problems, as we know, when we solve big problems, the paycheck is matching that compensation to compensate that solving the problem. Because we in our business and what we do, and I believe with your business and network marketing too, we look for a solution to share with the marketplace, because they might be help with their pets, maybe with their health, lifestyle, financially, and and we represent the company as a distributor, and our job is to educate people to understand, to a point they understand what we have. And it takes time, like we always it takes time, and always it was so good. And you taught me a lot about GPT. So you can work for us, and so
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see what it says. So I quickly wrote this out, right?
Mm.
And it says, is AI responsible for the shrinking workforce? And if so, how can AI help to create purpose in their life using work from home business models like network marketing? Let's see what it has to say, shall we?
Yep.
Let me have a look. Okay, is I partially yes, but context is key. Automation and AI, many routines, repetitive jobs, demographic shifts, aging populations, low birth rates, lifestyle priorities, pandemic reset, how people view work, skills gap, rapid tech advancing, mean fewer people have the up-to-date skills required. How can AI help people create purpose through work from home businesses? Rather than displacing people, AI offers powerful tools that can empower individuals to build meaningful, flexible businesses. Here's how it aligns with network marketing and home-based business models. Leverage AI to enhance personal branding. Use AI tools to generate compelling content. Automate social media schedules, leads, nurturing and follow-ups. Build authority and trust faster. Data-driven insights for smarter business. AI analytics. Track with marketing strategies. Improve sales funnel performance, A/B testing, train and scale your team more effectively, create more time for purpose by automating admin tasks. AI frees up time to focus on higher impact fulfilling activities like mentoring and other community buildings. I'll send you this, Joe. Let me copy this. In fact, I can just share this here. Copy. Okay, I'll send this to you so you can so that you've got it, and then we can have a discussion about it when we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely interesting, right? It's definitely interesting how you can use AI just to even ask a simple question. Like if you don't know what to do, you can actually literally put that problem into AI and say, look, I've got a problem here. I'm not sure how to deal with this. Imagine you're a network marketing guru. Explain how I might solve this problem. Do you know what I mean? And then give it that problem to solve. Especially with the AI that you're using, because you're using Eric Worre's version of AI, which is multi-level marketing, network marketing built. That's how it thinks. So it's very clever. But that was interesting what Roland Frasier was talking about there, about groups, channels, Facebook channels, Facebook groups, YouTube channels, and different things like this, where your ideal market or your ideal customer might be residing. And he wasn't just talking about customer being the end user of the product. He's talking about the customer being the recruiter and the seller. Do you know what I mean? Very, very interesting how he was looking at that. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Okay, now Joe, like we do every week, we're going to get Joey's final thoughts, and we always love it. So fire away, Joe, when you're ready. Because listen, I've got like a page full of notes here. Do you know? You can't even see, but like I've got like a full page of notes.
Same.
And of course, we started out by saying find the shortest path to the things you want, which is really interesting. And they talked about the mental viruses. There's no doubt about that. I noticed that certainly after, at the end of C19 and everything was back open again, there was definitely a shift in people in their ability to even communicate in a certain way. Adapting cycles. You had mentioned that AI is for everybody. It was interesting that he was right, that he was talking about AI for copywriting, marketing, advertising. We tend not to kind of think about it like that. But, you had mentioned that AI is self-education as well. Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, they were talking about, people who show up and do nothing, expecting things to happen without doing anything, all this kind of stuff. And then in that last kind of thing, that social or that network marketing hack, which I thought was fascinating. So listen, let me get your final thoughts, and can't wait to hear what you've got to say.
Thank you, Mike. Adapt or die. Today concept that we study today, or share today, or listen to it today, or watching today. It's the world we're living now. As discussed, Eric Worre was so right when he wrote his book, The Code Bro, particular for network marketing. We're living in a world now that is not. It's a performance economy. It's not a time economy. Like you exchange your time to get the reward or compensate with money or product or result. But nowadays we're living in a world that it has to be performance, and to increase your performance, to enhance your performance, whether it's a business, marketing, generating leads, or education, write books, to increase the possibility for you to success, you have to use the current trends or the tools, which is the AI that we have today. And AI has been coming a long way. We watch them in a movie, Star Wars and all those movies that, they give us a hint that the world is moving closely to a new world that everything will have to be performs. There's no longer based on our time and effort, but it has to be what you performs that will make the result. We have those tools nowadays. And I remember a few years ago, I was in a conference room. The speaker was talking about trends of the world, and like start from industrial world and then get into informational world, and then now we are in the world now of inference world, and AI has helped a lot of people make the inference more vast and more rich to the around the world by using the simple AI that we have. It's not come for free, but because it's developed by human being, it's come with a cost. But we have, if you needed to improve the quality of your generating leads or getting a customer or conversation, use it. And I think the main point, if we can take away one thing from tonight's conversation, we have the tools. Invest in the tools, but don't invest and don't do anything about it. I remember when I first come in, introduced to NowSite, which is the AI program that we have with our professional, particularly in the world and the community of Eric Worre and the Code Bro. I first invested in it and I didn't use it for a year. And then I realized I was lacking in conversation, because all business start with conversation. So when I start to use AI and NowSite to start the conversation, not only that improve the quality of my conversation with my leads or my prospect, but it helped me to learn as I go. In our professional, we earn as we learn at the same time. So please use the tools. Please use AI. Don't hesitate. Don't ignore them, because that's the world we are going through. That's the current world that we are living in. And if you use that to influence other people, to make an impact, to make a contribution, use it for your advantage, because they're there for you to use it. Learn as you go. Thank you, Mike, for reminding that. And just use it, apply it, and if you can teach it like we do tonight, teach it, because even us at the same time, we know that we're a lot of things that we are falling behind. We need to lift our game. We need to involve more. We need to utilize more the AI that we have in hand. And even if it costs us the money, but same with all business, we have to invest something to get something, because a lot of people, they do that and they see the result, because that's their return of investment, because they use it and make it help them to and take advantage of the new trends or the new technology that we have nowadays. Make AI as our friends. Make AI as your helper. It's like your servant. You are the master, and AI is the servant for us, and they are the slave for us. Make them work hard for us instead of us thinking hard and trying hard, or spending a lot of time in trying to work out what is the next step. It's only a matter of the keyboard, just ask question, or using the audio, ask AI to generate some solution for you, because we're living in a world that we have to solve a lot of problems, and our mind is designed to only solve not all the problem in the world, but only a few problems. But if we have to expand our expression of our knowledge, of our skill, we use the tools, we use AI. And if you use AI, and I believe, and we believe, that you're not going to die, but you're going to survive in this current economic that we are living in. So, nowadays, there's a lot of things in our society that make us, challenge us and make us stronger. Use the tools and the AI that we have in hand to for our advantage, and let it make it to become the best helper that we have, so that it will allow us to move a little bit faster instead of take a long time to get there. And like Roland said, find a way that it will take the shortcut to get you faster in whatever endeavor you are, whether it's the business, marketing, network marketing, or traditional business. Use the AI. So tonight, only takeaway, if you want to share with you one point to take away, is use it and learn about it, use it and teach it to other people too. So, Mike, thank you very much for the time tonight, and thank you for watching. I hope we add value in some way. I hope that you start looking at AI as your friend, not your enemy. So thank you.
Brilliant, Joey. Yeah, because I think you're exactly right. Because you could be scared of it, right? You could be scared of it, and really you've got to embrace it. Listen, you've had so many great comments tonight. Earn as you learn as you go. AI educates me too. To be honest, there's no doubt about it. The key is apply what you learn. You just mentioned that as well. You've got to teach it to others as well. This is a duplication process. You can teach someone else to teach another person how to be successful. And through that, you're able to build a network or an organization that actually product or service moves through. And that's how you do things. No doubt, Joey, fantastic. Very interesting. There's only about 10 minutes left on that. It's worth listening to. The link is in the description, or if you go to the YouTube channel that's on screen now, Eric Worre, at Eric Worre. Again, the link is in the description. And listen to the remainder of that. It's definitely worth trying to incorporate AI into the things that you're doing, because it can help. It really can. And that was the Adapt or Die with Roland Frasier. There's no doubt about it. It makes so much more sense, to actually learn about it and to figure this stuff out. But listen, look, my name is Mick McQuillan. You have been watching Freedom, Health, and Lifestyle. Let's have a look. You can find me here, mpmcquillan.com. You can find Joey here on Facebook at joey.unga. And I recommend you go there because Joe produces so much content and it's amazing. You'll be so surprised when you go and check out his page. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this channel. Click the notifications so you know when we're on. We're on the same time normally every week, and it's just fun. It should be a fun thing to do. It's about growing. It's about learning and growing. Like, for a long time, I was scared about these new technologies. And there's no doubt, we did that little exercise, with AI. Is AI responsible for the shrinking workforce? And how can it help somebody through using work from home platforms? Like, if you're sitting there and you're wondering what it is that you should be doing, get onto AI and ask AI. Put in there what your skill sets are, what things you love doing, and ask it if it can provide you with a company that you can join or work with, I recommend joining Joey's company or joining my company. Reach out to us and get in touch with us. Find out what we're doing, and you never know. It might be right for you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who cares? I don't care. I only want to work with people that want to work with me, that want to do something, that want to grow in a certain way, want to make a difference to other people's lives in a certain way. If you don't want that, then that's not right for you. You got to find the thing that's right for you. But it is about transforming your life, because that's important. If you're doing the same thing, that you've been doing for the last 10 or 15 years and you love what you're doing, listen, you're right on purpose. You're doing exactly what you should be doing. But if you're moaning and whinging about, having to go to work on Monday and stuff like this, maybe you need to change your direction. Maybe Joey's that change of direction. Maybe I'm that change of direction. You've got to start looking for something that's going to motivate you and encourage you and support you, But again, all of these tools that are at our disposal today that we didn't have. I remember when, I'm from a generation, right? I'm from a generation that when I first met my wife, I would leave in the morning, go to work, and I wouldn't speak to her until I got home, because there were no mobile phones then, right? And then about a year later, then we got mobile phones. Now I speak to my wife about 10 times a day. Do you know what I mean? So, damn. Anyway, right, listen, it's been a privilege. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share. We're going to play out with our favorite video. I think everything you need to know is in this video. It's only a few minutes long. It's worth watching. If you want it, just reach out to me. I'll definitely send you a link of where you can get it, and you watch it every day. To be honest, it's just a great video. Joe, anything you want to say before we go?
No, I just want to remind you about what Bob said. The world is it's so small nowadays. We can jump in a plane and fly overnight to another country. When I pick up the phone, as I press the button for our live stream, you on, I'm on. The same thing happened, because the world is so small because of the technology, internet, and now AI. So
Absolutely.
use it to your advantage, and you will look back with a grin one day and say, I'm glad I listened to this podcast and take the advice and run with it.
Do you know what? My final thought is exactly what Joey just said. Embrace it. See you on the other side.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. Now, do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, my God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your stem. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.